Joining me now from Kula, ABC's Melissa Adan. So, Melissa, we know that Lahaina was hit hard by these fires, but there were at least 2 other fires, as we said, on Maui, in the Kula area where you are and above in Kihei. What's it like there now?
Yes, Alexis, so it's rather remarkable to think that at a certain point last week, there were several wildfires going on throughout the island at the same time. In fact, today here in Kula, this is the upcountry. So right here, this is about 200 acres burned here, another 1,000 in the neighboring city just here. At this morning, though, still at this moment, we're talking about more than 8 days later, we still see up in the distance some smoke. There's smoldering still going on in some of these properties that have been totally devastated out here. Mind you, in Kula, the damage here is way less extensive than what we've seen just all across Maui. But I want to show you here at this home, this property owned by James, a local family. I was just chatting with him. He says they tried so hard to save everything that he was out here, literally, he said, with garden hoses in his hands as he was watching the winds. He says he was experiencing winds that were about 40 to 50 miles per hour. At times, though, he knew those gusts were just devastating. But he says not until the firefighters came to him and told him to please evacuate, you had to drop what he was doing. He says he just looked at his home and prayed. This did not make it. He is devastated, but I do want to point out his other property here. He has a bed and breakfast, and their other cottages did survive. So there's a glimmer of hope here at the Kula Sandalwoods Inn, but still heartbreaking to see loss of property. Up in the distance, I've seen other homes that have survived, but for instance, right here on this side, their neighbor also was not spared. There's damage in. We've seen some neighbors coming in as they're still working to do cleanup efforts and just do any sort of recovery that they've been desperately trying to get to. Alexis?
Melissa, now we know that Hawaii's governor is vowing to protect local landowners from being victimized because it didn't take long for the scammers to move in, right? People trying to buy land for when Maui rebuilds. What can you tell us about that?
How frustrating, right? It's something that the locals literally said, like the very first few days, that's what they were so worried about. Let me tell you something. We know how beautiful Maui is, right? I got up here. I've never been to Kula, never been to the mountains. You have to travel up from, down from the coast. A gorgeous drive when you get here, and I see it in the view. It's an astounding view. Then you look out, you see Western Lahaina, and you see the ocean, and then you think about that. You think about what the communities there on the coast in Lahaina went through, that total devastation of that beautiful historic town. Then you're thinking about so many communities here up on the upcountry around surrounding parts of Maui. The governor responding to those claims, Alexis, saying they're looking with the state attorney general's office on putting a possible moratorium so that there aren't any land grabs. Alexis?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And of course, we know the aftermath of these fires could last for years. I'd imagine there is already talk about rebuilding. What does that process, what's it going to look like?
Definitely, Alexis, that's something I can show you right now. So we've seen a lot of these neighbors that have come up. They were actually expressing to me, you see a lot of this devastation. Just from a week later, this is what cleanup looks like. Then they're talking about dealing with their insurance companies. Then, of course, reaching out to FEMA for that federal aid. And then the picture that I really just want to highlight here. Behind me, this is just one property. Think about the hundreds and hundreds of homes. Think about the thousands of people just on this island impacted by this terrible devastation. Alexis?
Melissa Adan, thank you for your reporting.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.